What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB The Show video, and today we are going to be talking about your squads and my squads, how we can make our squad the best in MLB The Show, what is the best squad if money is not an object, if you have millions and millions of stubs, or if you're balling on a budget, what the easiest God squad to create is. In my opinion, obviously all these are opinions. If you like a swing, stick with it. If you don't like what I have to say, you can stick with your own stuff. These are just the guys that I've been super successful with and took me from a normal pennant race, maybe division series player, all the way to World Series last season, and I've had a pretty good run this season. I won 4 games straight this morning, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a better player than you. You're probably better than me. I'm a pretty average MLB The Show player, and these are the cards that I've been the most successful with this year, and what I think is the best possible God squad at this moment, and maybe what is the best budget squad, like I said. Now, if you do enjoy these types of videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As you can see above, we are at 928 subscribers. We are so close to 1,000, and that was our goal for the end of the year, so help me reach that goal. I appreciate each and every one of you. Leave a like if you enjoy this video, and let me know who you are using on your God squad in the comment section down below. Now let's get right into the video. So here we have my God squad, and I have been very responsible with my stubs this year, which is why you can see I have 99 Mookie Betts just chilling out here. I've also got Chipper Jones, which is the Live Series Collection Award, and of course we also got Mariano Rivera. These are some of the more expensive cards in the game. We also got Vladimir Guerrero and Vlad Jr., both of which are well over 100K. Mike Piazza's going for around 100K right now, and I think that's just about it that's expensive on this squad. So it is a very difficult squad to get yours looking like mine if you haven't been being very resourceful with your stubs. Last year was my first year playing the game, and I was not ready for these collections when they came out at all. This year I was a little bit more prepared, which is why I was able to get Mookie a few days after he dropped. So as you see here, I'm rocking 3 right fielders in the outfield. That is because I believe all 3 of these guys are the best 3 outfielders in the game. I got Mookie in left field because he has the best defense and pretty good speed over in left. He can afford to take a hit on his defense for a secondary position. As you see, he still has diamond defense in left field. Acuna I have in center because he's the fastest of the group. He's got 97 speed over here in center field. And then Vladimir Guerrero has the worst defense. So him in right field makes the most sense to me because he can't afford to take a secondary position hit, or else he might go down to bronze or common defense. All right, now moving over to the infield, I have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base. I think he is easily the best first baseman in the game. There's a lot of options at first, but if you look at the comparisons in the stats, it's really not close. Joey Votto is clearly worse than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Pete Alonso has better power numbers, but his defense is terrible and his contact's not as good. Same thing with Prince Fielder. He's almost a mirror image of Pete Alonso. Eddie Murray has better defense, but his offensive numbers aren't that good, and he is a switch hitter, so if you like switch hitters, I would recommend Eddie Murray. I prefer right-handed hitters right now. I'm just cracked with righties. I don't know why. So I've been using Vlad Guerrero Jr. Paul Konerko is definitely a usable option if you like righties as well and you don't value defense. Tomei's usable. Walsh is usable. Olsen's usable. First base is a very stacked position. Even when you get into the secondaries, a lot of these guys are usable for sure. Second base, I got Mike Moustakas, kind of a hot take, but he has a very good swing, very good offensive numbers, and good enough defense at second base, in my opinion. Trey Turner obviously is the best shortstop in the game, one of the best cards in the game. He's got crazy power numbers, crazy defense, not crazy defense, but he's fast enough to get to pretty much every ball you need him to. I've had no problems with him in the field, and of course his 99 speed and his power numbers have been amazing. The best power hitting speedster in the game. This card's an absolute glitch. Third base, I'm rocking Chipper Jones, and I think you should too. He's been amazing for me this season. Great defense at third, and great speed, great fielding, great offense, contact, power, you name it. He's been amazing. And then I'm rocking 99 Mike Piazza behind the plate. I think he's the best catcher overall. If you just look at his offensive numbers, nobody's really going to hold a candle to him, except for, I guess, Salvador Perez against lefties is really good. Other than that, though, he's easily the best offensive catcher in the game. And with 85 blocking, I think he's definitely usable behind the plate. That's the most important catching stat, in my opinion, is the blocking, so he's not going to let a lot of pass balls through him. But unfortunately, I have been really bad with this card. I'm 4 for 20 with him so far and 0 home runs, so hopefully his power bat sort of figures itself out soon. But with those hitting stats, I can't keep this guy out of my lineup. Coming over to the bench, I like to use 2 players that can hit righties really well, 2 hitters that can hit lefties really well, and then typically a speedster. And then it's also a bonus if I can have a backup catcher, because catcher's a very tough position to obviously use. So like maybe I got a pinch run for Mike Piazza late in the game. I want a backup catcher, which is why I got Kyle Schwarber here. Schwarber and David Ortiz would be my 2 bench bats versus righties, and then Gloss and Judge would be for left-handed pitching. Obviously, they both have basically the max stats you can have against lefties, and Judge I just wouldn't like to use against righties, but against lefties he's been very good. Lou Brock, of course, his 99 speed and his 100-plus contact to both sides is going to be amazing. I don't have him paralleled yet, but then he'll get up to that 100 contact versus both sides, and he'll be my pinch runner. And he could also be a defensive substitute if I need him anywhere in the outfield. So that is my offensive team. Let's go over the lineup real quick for you guys. As you can see over here, we got Trey Turner leading it off. He's got speed and power at the top of that order, so that way if DeGrom gets out or my pitcher, if they don't hit very well, Trey Turner is another power threat if there's runners on base, as well as being a speedster in the leadoff spot. So when he gets on base, he's definitely a threat to steal a base or score from first on a single. We got Mookie Betts in the 2-hole. He's got a good contact power combination, 125 contact to both sides. Pretty good speed as well. Kind of like a Mike Trout on steroids, in my opinion. He's really, really good. Chipper is my most confident hitter, which is why I have him in the 3-hole. He's also a switch hitter, so you're not really going to have a good matchup against Chipper Jones. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is my best power hitter, so I have him in the 4-hole. This is where you should have your best power hitter as well. Vlad Guerrero Sr. has been amazing for me as well, which is why I have him backing up Vlad Jr. I feel like if I have the bases loaded and Vladdy strikes out or pops out or something, he's another guy I feel like who can clean up the bases for me very well. I got Mike Moustakas in the 6-hole just so I can do the splits a little bit better. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has reverse splits, meaning he's better against right-handed pitchers, as you can see here. Vlad Guerrero Sr. is better against lefties. Moustakas is a little better against righties, and he's left-handed, so you're probably going to see more lefties pitch to him. But if they bring in a lefty to pitch to Mike Moustakas, I got Acuna in the 7-hole, who is better against lefties, and then Piazza, who basically just rakes whoever you throw at him. So that is my current roster and current lineup construction. You can always do platoon splits if you want to, so if you want a left-handed first baseman, you could always pinch hit David Ortiz for Vlad Guerrero Jr., Same thing if you want a lefty catcher, you could always pinch hit Schwarber for Piazza, and so on and so forth. So that is my offense right there. Let's go over my pitching and show you what I got on my God Squad right now. As you can see over here, we have Jacob deGrom as my ace. I currently still see him as the best pitcher in the game. Nolan Ryan, the 5th inning boss, dude. When I tell you about a guy who absolutely mows down hitters, it's this guy. 68 strikeouts in 39 innings, dude. He's absolutely ridiculous. .69 whip, 1.85 ERA. He's been better than deGrom has for me this year, so. He only has 1 walk, too. That's hilarious. Yeah, this card is absolutely amazing. He already has 2 shutouts for me. He's just been absolutely dominant. So, highly recommend this Nolan Ryan card if you can afford it. Obviously, a little expensive. If you can get this Shohei Ohtani, I will say his pitching has been a little bit less than ideal for me. He does get a lot of strikeouts. He's got 76 of them in 55 innings, and his offensive stats have been pretty good as well. Offensively, he has 18 at-bats for me and 5 home runs in those 18 at-bats, so he's been really good offensively. One of my biggest power threats, if I'm being honest. So you got to get this Shohei Ohtani card. He's amazing. I just used his Felix Hernandez for the first time. He went 7 innings, only allowing 1 run, I believe. Or I think he allowed 2 runs. I can't really remember. But anyways, he was pretty good for me. I do kind of like this card. I wish he had a little bit better speed, but his pitch control is pretty good. And then, of course, Old Faithful, Edward Cabrera, locking down the end of the rotation. I'm kind of curious what I want to do with this spot, though, because Cliff Lee's been amazing for me. I've heard this Lance Lynn's pretty good. Herman Marquez has been great. Tom Glavine's been great, and I also really like this Walker Buehler, so definitely a lot of options to use for that 5th spot in the rotation. If you have time to check out some other arms, you might want to do a little research, kind of see who you like in that 5 spot. My bullpen is pretty normal, but I do have Rich Gossage as my closer. He was my World Series reward, 125 per 9s, great pitch mix with outlier. Mariano Rivera at the setup man. We still got Gold Chapman in at our setup for lefties because he's just been dominant. He's so good, man. 32 innings pitched, 3.6 ERA, 44 strikeouts. What can I say? Greg Soto has been decent for me. 2.9 ERA, not terrible. Rob Dibble's been very good for me. Lee Smith still has not allowed a run for me through 17 1/3 innings pitched, so he's actually been my best reliever. Kendall Graveman has been pretty good. No earned runs yet in 3 innings pitched. And then Zach Britton, if you have this guy from the Daily Moments, he's been very good as well. So that is my God Squad. This is what I would recommend if you have unlimited stubs. These are my guys. This is the team I roll with in ranked, and I'm confident I can get a win every time. I do have a pretty decent ranked record, so I'm not terrible. I'm 80 and 32, so not a terrible record. Definitely not the best record you've ever seen, but still pretty, I'd say I'm pretty solid with that squad. Now, if you are balling on a budget, this is what I would recommend. None of these guys cost more than 10,000 stubs, or they are completely free from doing team affinity or moments like this Tim Anderson is. So I would recommend Cedric Mullins in center field. He's got great hitting stats, and he's got enough speed where he'll be able to track down a lot of baseballs for you. Not a great arm in center field, though, so a little bit sketchy. Maybe roll with Adolis Garcia if you're good with righties. Same thing with Chris Taylor. He's pretty good. Both other really good cheap options, or maybe even Byron Buxton. Not a huge fan of his contact, though. That's why I don't use him. Kyle Schwarber over in left field. I think he's the best cheap option. There aren't really that many good cheap left fielders. A lot of these guys are a little pricey. So I would recommend Kyle Schwarber if you're balling on a budget. Mike Moustakas over at third base. He's the tops now we went over in my last squad. He's only going for 7K right now, so would highly recommend picking him up. Trey Turner is completely free. Tim Anderson takes literally 5 minutes to finish some moments. They're all on rookie. Anybody can acquire this card in 5 minutes. Matt Olson is a very good budget player, also from Team Affinity Season 3. Same thing with Salvador Perez, a very easy card to acquire, but very good. Ronald Acuna Jr. as well. Once you finish all of Team Affinity Season 3, which you can honestly do just by playing the game if you want, you'll be able to get this Ronald Acuna Jr., and he is absolutely amazing. I have him on my God Squad, as you saw earlier, but he is technically a free card, so I would recommend him. This is my cheap bench. We got Votto, who is a monthly awards player. Chris Bryant is only going for 7K right now. If you have not bought this card yet, what are you doing? Nelson Cruz is another free one from Team Affinity. Same with Nick Castellanos. And then Lou Brock is another one of those cards. Only going for 7K right now. So you've got to pick this guy up if you have the chance. Now, over on our cheap pitching staff, all these guys are free. That would be Jacob deGrom from Team Affinity 3 once again. Cliff Lee from Team Affinity 2 is amazing. He dots corners. He's perfect. Herman Marquez has been really good for me. A very underrated card in my opinion. Felix Hernandez from the Field of Dreams program, easy card to acquire and very good. And then Edward Cabrera, once again, he is from Team Affinity Season 2, very easy card to acquire. Now, this is my budget bullpen. The bullpen's a little bit harder to get if you don't have, if you don't have a lot of cards. These cards are easy to acquire. It's not going to be the flashiest bullpen in the world, but it will get the job done for you for sure. Alex Reyes, I would use as your closer in this situation, with Dibble and Chapman being your setup men. Even though they're golds, they have been very good, both of these guys, for me this year. Dibble a little bit less than Chapman, but both of these guys are very confident. Josh Hader's been bad for me, but I know a lot of people have success with this card, so I would recommend him for a budget beast. Dave Robertson's a little bit expensive, but he's only going for 13K right now, so I would recommend picking him up if you need a budget guy. Kendall Graveman from the monthly awards is amazing. 125 hits per 9, so the PCI is going to be tiny. He's also got sinker, cutter, changeup, slider, fastball, you name it. He has every pitch in the book. Very hard pitcher to read. I had to face him earlier today, and I did not do well against him. Greg Soto, another free card. He has outliers, so he throws as hard as you can in the game. And then Tom Hankey, also from the Field of Dreams program. He has a forkball, and I think forkballs are one of the harder pitches to hit. They're like a splitter on steroids, so yeah, that would be my bullpen if you're balling on a budget. So let me know what you guys think of this squad. I did have to, sorry, 1 second. I did want to show you guys the lineup construction. This is the lineup I would have if you are rocking this squad. Trey Turner in the leadoff spot, of course. Cedric Mullins at 2, Acuna at 3, Schwarber, Anderson, Moustakas, Salvi Perez, and Matt Olson. Basically alternating left-right, and going towards the right-handed versus left-handed splits. So that's what I would recommend running with this lineup. You can always platoon some guys. I feel like some people are going to want to put Votto in over Olson, and that's totally okay. These are just the guys that I would personally recommend. So if you guys do enjoy this video, definitely be sure to leave a like on it. Help me out reach that 1,000 subscriber mark. We are so close, guys. I appreciate all the crazy support that we've been having lately. Y'all are the best, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video.